Hey guys. Okay, so this week we're going to talk about Brisbane City Council's new Development.i system. In super simple terms, it's the replacement for the application search feature under the old PD or Property and Development online system. Before we jump behind the computer though and get into the nitty-gritty sort of stuff, I want to take a moment to take a step back and look at the why. Why on earth did Council overhaul this existing system? Well, if you regularly watch our videos, you would have heard me talk about Blueprint before. For those of you that haven't heard, in super simple terms, back in 2018, Brisbane City Council did a massive public consultation process. And one of the key findings that sort of came out of this process is that the public feel that town planning is kind of like this, it's a dark art. It's something that people don't understand and therefore can't be involved in. So, Council gave an undertaking to change that. And one of the ways that they said they were going to do that is to overhaul this existing application system so people can stay more up to date with what applications are going on in their area and they can be more informed about those applications. So now that you know that, let's jump behind the computer. Let's look at how to find the system and how to basically navigate around it. Let's do this. Okay, so first things first, you need to come to the browser and type in development.i.brisbane.qld.gov.au. Now, if you go to Google and just type Development.i Brisbane, it should take you to the same page. Now, you wait for it to load. Now, what you need to do here is type the address into this white little bar here. Now, I am just going to go, if I can type it in correctly, George Street, Brisbane City Council's Brisbane Square building. Nice, safe address for me to look up. As you can see there, it's popped down with the options. I've clicked on that. Now, it's zoomed into the location, so we've got the council building there. First thing you need to do is come up here and click on the surrounding applications. So that's going to load all of the applications in the surrounding area. Now, here's the trick. That is the current applications that are in progress with council. What you now need to do is come up here and change it from in progress to all. Obviously, if you want to know about active applications that are currently being assessed, you don't need to change that. But most of the time, you're going to want to look back through all of the applications in the area. As you can see now, there is a bucket load of blue spots going on there, or blue circles, whatever you want to call it. Now what you'll notice, oh, look over here, 56, that's a lot of applications. So anyway, what I was going to say is if you see a little blue dot like the one down here without a number in it, that means there's been one application lodged over that property. However, if you see 28, 9, 4, 56, I still can't get over that number, that's the number of applications that have been lodged over those properties. Now, you can refine things further by using the filters up here. I personally find them a bit hit and miss, let's just say. There's been a couple of situations where I've looked up previous jobs just as a bit of a tester and they haven't shown up under the right categories. So under the use, I think I went down and selected dwelling house over 9.5 or 3 stories. There we go. 3 stories, 9.5, and the results didn't come back as I expected them to come back. So I personally don't refine things any further than that. I just stick to, or let me close down that, that's jumping ahead a bit. I just stick to the all and then go from there. Now let's find, I'm actually going to zoom out a little bit. So I'm just using the scroll bar on my mouse at the moment, but you can use the plus and minus feature over here if you want to come in and out. I'm going to go out to a more residential area because it's going to be a bit more exciting, aka easier for me to talk about. Okay, here we go again. Milton, so many applications going on. Makes you realize how much development activity actually occurs in our city when you see it mapped out like this. Okay, so let's take this, no, let's go this one over here, number 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to click on that number 2. Now you'll see this little arrow here. You use that to scroll between all of the applications that are over the property. Okay, so now we've got 1 of 2 and 2 of 2. So you get the basic sort of information here, the property description, all of that sort of stuff. But what you want to do is come up here to the details button. So you click on that, wait for it to load. There you go, you can see basic sort of information, but what we want to do is come up here to the application documents. Wait a couple of seconds for it to load. Feel like we need a little bit of hold music, some elevator music to keep us entertained. Feel like I go for a sleep. This is taking a while. Come on, here we go, finally. Okay, so what I'd probably do is change it to 100 entries because I like to see everything in one page. Now this is all the application material that was submitted as part of the application. Funny enough there. What I like to do is scroll down, take note of the initial date, so 11th, 2014, and then I come up here in 6th, 2015. So that application took a good 6 or so months in council. The first thing I look at is that date range because that gives me an indication as to how complex the application was. If it moved through in say a month, maybe 2 months, I'd go, oh, stock standard application, probably not going to find anything interesting here. However, in this situation where we see 6 months, I go, okay, there was clearly some issues there with this application. The next thing I look for is how much correspondence went back and forth in terms of information requests, information responses, all of that sort of stuff. So was that extended time frame due to the fact that they just didn't respond for 6 months to council, or was there a lot of back and forth that occurred? Again, it gives you an indication of how complex the application is. From there, I'd probably dive into the approved plans, have a bit of digging through the conditions, all of that sort of stuff. But the final thing I probably just wanted to mention here, which is another feature I love about this system, is you can preview the documents. So instead of downloading everything, opening it up, viewing it, going, oh, it's the wrong one, going back, you can just preview. So awesome. So yeah, I think that probably covers off the whole system, the basics of it anyway. Like I said, you can search for a property, zoom in, turn on the surrounding applications, change it all. Took me a while to work that one out, so there's a tip for you. Click on the blue circle. The number in the blue circle indicates the number of applications that have been lodged post 2014, I believe it still is. And then once you click on the number, you can scroll across to the application you want, drill into the details, have a look at the time frame, have a look at the correspondence that's gone back and forth. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. Obviously, there's more fancy features. You can do the satellite image, you can do the Google Street View thing. I personally haven't used that yet. I just love the fact that visually you can go in and instantly, like let's say for example, I've got a property here and I'm like, oh, I want to know if anyone else has gone over 2 stories in height in the area. I can start to drill into all of those surrounding applications. Or if I want to know someone else has pushed the undercroft requirement for a flooding application, I can compare from interactive mapping where the flood path goes and look to see if there's any blue circles in that flood path. And then I can jump into those applications to see whether they broke those or pushed for a performance outcome. I was about to say break the rules, but that's probably not a good way of saying it. Sort a performance outcome under the scheme for those requirements. So yeah, it's really handy having that visual representation. That's probably the main thing I love. And the preview function, such a small thing, but I love it. Anyway, that probably is enough for today. Hopefully you guys are now inspired to go in and have a bit of a play around. As always, if you have any tips or tricks that you discover, because I'm only just getting into this system, if you come up with any tips and tricks, please add them as a comment below. As I always say, until next time, thanks for watching.
For all you red tape lovers out there, I have one thing to say. Well, no actually, I've got 3. Number 1, the advice provided in these videos is general in nature. It's not site specific. You would be a silly Billy to go and make financial decisions based on this advice without first checking with the town planner. Don't be a silly Billy. Number 2, Brisbane town planning is in no way linked to Brisbane City Council. The views expressed in these videos are my own, not council's. So if you don't like them, blame me, not council. Number 3, what was my number 3? Oh yeah, the views expressed in these videos are accurate at the time of recording. If you're watching this video back 10 years from now, the views may not be so accurate. That's all.